Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 16 of our Medical Minute podcast. Jill, we've been on this big subscription push lately. We're doing really, really well, and we've got some brand equity built up, I think, at least in our Medical Minute name. But it's starting to look like we probably need to change the name to The Steve Show based on the way it's going here.
Well, but if Sherry has it her way, she'll want to call it The Sherry Show.
Probably true. That doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily.
As well as The Steve Show?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back. We're both sporting our new cancer pins. They all matter is the thing. So we got a rainbow pins on. So we're making a little bit of a fashion statement there. My friend Sean Miller in Cleveland, he subscribed. And so he's my friend and nemesis. And so he sent me an email yesterday. And so the youngsters won't really get this, but he said, I think the podcasts are really great. And he said, by the way, George Burns called and he wants his glasses back. So I'm going to, just to stick it to Sean, I'm going to continue to wear these glasses.
I think that's a great idea.
All right. Sounds like a good plan.
You have much better hair than George Burns.
Well, hopefully I'll continue to have good hair.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that later. But
yes.
Anyway. Okay, so as we've kind of gone through this journey, it's been born of unpleasant circumstances, but it's been a nice opportunity to actually bring to life some of the things we've talked about in concept. So, we started out with PSA results that were rising, and then we covered the Garden 360 and the value of that and what that told us, and then we talked about my PSMA PET scan, which I got done, and then we got those results
in the beautiful
back.
city of Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Absolutely. Now, be careful now. Be careful. There's a lot of people in Ann Arbor, and they get a little angry sometimes, depending on the football game. But so we got those results back, and we talk about those. So, and where we left off was the PSMA PET scan found some stuff that I certainly wasn't very happy about, but it is what it is. So we're back here today to talk about the biopsy that I had done last week, and I'm going to try to say this because I stumble. The supraclavicular node. Mm-hmm. So as it turns out, because I could hear the chatter when I was on the table, there actually turned out to be 3 of those that were quite large. The largest of which I think was about almost an inch across. So 2 centimeters is about close to an inch, right? About 8/10 of an inch, something like that. Okay, so now we have those results, and bearing in mind that we always try to make difficult things simple.
Yes.
Can you walk us through what those biopsy results say?
Yes. So very similar to the PSMA results and CAT scan results or any medical report that you would receive. They have what's called an impression, and I like to refer to that as the Cliff Notes version. And then standardly on a pathology, they have additional comments. The additional comments section, realistically, I almost think it's for all of the people that hang out in the lab, mostly the pathologists, because standardly in the comment section, it talks about the stains that were done and what stain results were positive. And for the typical layman, just really doesn't offer you any information other than what the heck is an NKX3 positive cell? Like, what is that?
I looked that one up and I didn't get very far.
And so, if you ever do have a pathology report and you're trying to read all of it and have an understanding, just know that for the different cancer diagnoses, there are certain stains that the pathologist will do that tells them pretty much without a shadow of a doubt that what they're dealing with is that specific cancer. And so because they would have already known that you had prostate cancer, they would have started with stains that were specific to that prostate cancer. And so in the comments section, that's what it talks about. It talks about the stains that they did, and because they were positive, they were very sure on what they were seeing. Okay? So with all of that long explanation, the final diagnosis on the left supraclavicular lymph node biopsy was that it was indeed metastatic prostatic adenocarcinoma. Yep. So really long way to say that your prostate cancer spread up to that lymph node there in the neck.
Okay.
It did not indicate that the cell type or that anything had changed, it had taken a more aggressive spin, which obviously could have been a concern. It's just telling us that the prostate cancer that you have is headed north and hung up in your lymph node in your neck and is causing a problem there.
Okay.
So obviously, what that tells us clinically is that, we've now moved outside of the regional metastatic disease and we've moved to a distant site, which just that changes up the approach. We're no longer taking a local focused regional approach.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay. So then if you kind of think back, so the Garden 360 would find shed DNA in the bloodstream.
Correct.
The PSMA PET scan would kind of see where the cancer cells are kind of lighting up.
Mm-hmm.
So some of my tissue was sent to a company called Keras Life Sciences.
Correct.
So can you tell everybody what the Keras analysis will tell us?
Okay. So Keras falls under the umbrella of next generation sequencing or molecular profiling. And it actually takes the specific cancer tissue and runs all of those tests looking for the same mutations and alterations that the Guardant 360 was looking for, but instead of looking at it in the blood, it's looking specifically at the tissue.
Okay.
So it again adds another piece to the puzzle. So what we're looking for is, are there any mutations that we're picking up, again, that might not have been picked up on the Guardant, that could potentially offer some additional treatment options? And it just helps again to be another data point as we're moving forward on deciding what the next best step for treatment is.
Okay. So we talked about this last week. So we're at the point where, and this is going to circle back to a previous episode where you gave one of your good analogies. But so now it's time to add the quarter. I need a quarterback.
You need a new quarterback. You need to add another player to your team.
Okay, and that's going to be the medical oncologist.
That will be the medical oncologist. And standardly with prostate cancer, and I'm sure that you can attest to this, when you're an early diagnosis, most of the time you just have a urologist who is following you. Mm-hmm. However, you were lucky and super blessed in the fact that your radiation oncologist happened to be Dr. Bill Barrett, who Dr. Barrett isn't just your doctor. I mean, he becomes part of your family. He's a friend. Yep. And so he definitely added another layer of watch over for you. So you had not only your urologist, but also Dr. Barrett, your radiation oncologist. And when you get to the point where you're outside of what those two specialties can offer regarding treatment, that's when you kind of need to bring in the next level of player in regards to a medical oncologist or your quarterback.
Okay. All right. So then to kind of, I guess, bring us kind of current on where we're at while we wait for the tissue analysis from Keras Life Sciences and for me to actually meet with my medical oncologist for the first time. So all of this stuff that we've been talking about, all this precision medicine results, where it's kind of brought us is that we found something earlier. We found something early, wasn't as a result of symptoms, so that helps, right?
Correct.
And then so we may get some guidance out of the Keras analysis that may tell us what things might be more effective, what treatments might be more effective or successful.
Correct.
And I guess by contrast, what probably wouldn't be more successful. So. To wrap it up, this is where I see it, and here it comes, a movie reference.
Okay.
So, wait for it.
I'm
so you're saying
anxiously awaiting.
So you're saying I've got a chance.
Very nice.
All right. I thought that up right then. I literally made that up.
Was that spur of the moment?
That was not
impromptu.
That was not on this sheet.
Very nice.
All right. So okay. So next week, and we'll have to figure out a way that we can continue to talk about me after next week. But we'll get the hopefully we'll have the Keras report If not, we'll find something. Maybe we'll put Chris behind the mic next week or something. I don't know. We'll see.
There you go.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. We've been on a mad push for subscribers because we like what we're doing here. We think it's good. We're closing in on 300 subscribers. We'll figure something out, but we're going to find a way to reward subscriber number 500. Subscriber number 100 was Steve Wolf. He's a big supporter of ours, and so he'll get some kind of swag bag.
Nice.
500 will get some sort of swag bag as well. But we got to get to 500, and that'll put us halfway to our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So anyway, if you like what we're doing, subscribe. If you don't like what we're doing, subscribe. And we'll be back here next Wednesday at noon to talk a little bit more about maybe,
you.
Yeah, about me. Why not? All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.